Yeah, another Netware video. But while I'm on this subject, and the reason I'm doing this is I got back from VCF Midwest and I don't want to fire up my real steel Netware and 46s and Pentium boxes right now. Kind of want a small little virtual lab I can use to run Netware. It's going to save money and power and just sort of be easier for now until I work out some stuff. So I thought I'd take the opportunity while I got Proxmox here, all these DOS images and everything up there. I'm making videos. I also promised myself I would document some of this time around. So I'm going to walk through how to install a DOS 622 machine like we've done in some previous videos. And this time we're going to install the DOS slash Windows Netware VLM client version 1.21. At the end, you should be able to attach to one of the servers you built from one of my previous videos, connect to it, manage it, put data on it, all the stuff that you normally need to do. One of the complaints I remember hearing decades ago about NetWare was that you can't do anything on the console, which I guess that's fair. It's kind of an appliance, right? In modern terms, maybe they were kind of ahead of the game there and building an appliance. But anyways, let's get started here. We're gonna kind of list out what we're gonna do. We're gonna create a VM, adjust some settings, install DOS, CD-ROM drivers, which we really don't need, but I do it anyways. Then we'll install the Netware VLM client. I'll show you how to do that. Attached to a Netware 4.11 server that I built in a previous video. Log in and show you a couple of new things I've learned with Proxmox. We can use VNC to connect to the DOS machine. And then at the end, I'm going to show you an even easier way to do this. But you can start from scratch and do it all, or you can sort of skip ahead and I guess cheat and just do it the easy way. But where do we start? Let's do like we usually do and create a new VM. Let's call this DOS 622 NW client. Other, change the video to standard VGA, LSI, disk, DOS. We don't need much. Let's go 8 gig, 1 CPU, memory. I'm just going to go 64 meg. Network, turn off firewall, leave E1000. Next, finish. Gee, excuse me, cough drop time. Hop over to your PVE host. Go to Etsy PVE to QEMU. This is 101. Type here. What are we going to change? Well, first thing is we're going to need a boot disk, right? Let's go over here. Find my DOS. Let's use this one. In previous videos, I showed how I uploaded that, but it's the DOS 622 installer, just number one. We will add args to add that floppy. And we are going to change the E1000 to the PCNet. I'm also going to change the, let's go 8C, change the MAC. I think that's it. Args, PCNet equals, blah, blah, blah. Alrighty. Go to that new machine, console, start it up. Hit escape, number 5. Boot from the floppy, and the MS-DOS installer. We're just going to let it go and let it create the sort of default 2 gig on that 8 gig drive. I don't know why I made it 8 gigs. I just sort of picked a random number. I forgot to hit escape. I did it again. 5. I should really change the boot order in there and include the floppy. Format C drive, 2 gig, away it goes. That's pretty quick. Good, good. Now we can queue up disk number 2 over here. And over here we can go QM monitor 101. Ready for disk 2. Put in disk 2, enter. See my other videos. I kind of go over details a lot more in the other ones. I'm really Just kind of breezing through it here, but we're changing disks like you would in a real machine. Just doing it virtually. Alrighty, done. Remove, we don't care. Enter. And up comes DOS. Alright, let's install the CD-ROM device driver. Change that floppy. Make directory CD-ROM. Go to A colon. Alrighty, let's edit. Change my paths for my boot disk. Same thing in here. And one thing I like to do is make this /L colon R for the R drive. All right, let's reset. We should now have an attached CD-ROM. Bingo. Okay, what are we going to do next? Create a VM, set it up, DOS, CD-ROM. On to installing the network client. What I did was I uploaded all of those network drives, the VLM disks up to my data store. I did put them up in my GitHub. I'll include that link in this video. So here's the disk images, as well as the PCI ODI driver. I should mention, since we changed to the PCNet in the VM config, we have the ODI driver for that client too. So I parked it up there, which we'll use in this video. Let's grab disk image 1. Proxmox 101 console. Okay, let's make a directory called install. VLM disk 1, go over to A colon, good. This is an self-expanding, I think, ARG file. Disk 2, looks good. Disk 3. We'll expand those on the disk here in a minute. You can also expand them if you want onto real floppies. I find it easier just to copy them all over once like this. Disk 6 is really just an update that's going to overlay some of the other ones I'll show you. But now we have all of them. Make sure the text files are included as well. They also come in the exe. Now we have them on disk. Let's go VLM121_1. Now let's add a -yes switch just to have it say yes to anything. Like it asks, you already have the .txt file on disk. Number 2. There's some interesting reading in those text files. Should probably actually read them. Disk 1 through 5 appear to be just sort of the regular install disk, whereas disk 6 is an update, and it overwrites some other files. So the -y is actually why I started using it on number 6, because it asks you want to overwrite. Like, yes. It does it a whole bunch of times. Find it just easier to do it for all of them. While we are at it, let's grab the ODI driver floppy disk. And let's change that over here. So we now have that up. And what do we have for executables here? We have install. Let's run install. NW client, sure. Modify config and auto, yeah, sure. Support for Windows, no, I don't have it installed. We don't have a backup server. Network driver, it's not in here. We have to go all the way to the bottom. Other, point it to the A drive. There is that AMD driver. Hit F10 to save. It's going to modify things. So let's go edit first. The one thing I don't like that it does is it puts itself before the echo off. And the other one is edit net.cfg. And you don't need these for the virtual driver. You can comment them out with a semicolon in the net.cfg file. Save it. Yes. Let's do a reset. Network fires, and if you noticed, you are attached to Stimpy. Stimpy is the Netware server that I built, 4.11. There it is. Let's go to F. It doesn't get focus. F colon the login. Type it right. Admin. Put in your password. Mapping works. Let's run netadmin. We are attached to Netware. So let's do something interesting now. Let's shut this down. And let's change the args. I'm going to get rid of the floppy for now. And I'm going to add this one. What this does is starts up a VNC server, no VNC, and 77 is the last two of the port number it starts with. So what I'm going to do is start the VM here. Too many args, Darren. All of you are probably screaming at me right now. You left one in there. I did. Oops. Up it comes. So I have real VNC installed here. And I am set up pointing to that IP of my RetroNet machine. Start with 5.9, the standard VNC port, and add the 7.7 to the end. Let's name this DOS 622 NW client. Okay. Guess what we have? We are now in over VNC. F colon login. CN equals admin. And now I can sort of expand it up. Look at how good and cool that looks. So now you have access using VNC. You don't have to come in over the console. Kind of nifty. What can you do from here? So let's do one thing. Let's run that netadmin. What you're probably going to want to do first thing is create a new user account. So manage objects. I created an OU, which you can do by hitting the insert. Create an organizational unit, basically a directory sort of container object to hold people. I created a user called GenUser. Let's do that again. I'll just show you how it works. Let's go and hit insert. Create a user, login name, save changes, user created, create another, nope. Now we can go and hit edit properties, and you can change password right here. So let's exit. Let's go F colon, let's go back to the C drive. Let's go CN equals test user. cn equals test user dot ou equals users. It'll work. Remember, I had the I put it in the OU of users. I'll show you. It'll work with so cn equals test user dot. If you've done LDAP, you're used to the comma, but think about LDAP directory structures and kind of the same idea. O equals users. If you've done LDAP, this kind of makes sense. Or if you've done some x.500, x.500. What is it? Oh, I need to do a reset. It's too bad it changes your screen size. Enter login name. Why did it take it when it was misspelled, but not here? I don't know. I'll have to figure that out later. Let's try it as cn equals admin. You guys can figure it out. All right. It's probably a search order thing inside of the directory. Been a while since I've done this. I'll leave it up to you all to figure out how to actually put it in over here. How about that? So next up, before we waste a bunch of time on this, let's exit out of here. And let's go back over here and let's shut this thing down. And I'll show you another way to do this. I'm calling it kind of the easy way. I am going to destroy that VM and go over to my GitHub. So in the GitHub right here that I'll include this video, there is the client directory, but there's also a dump directory. I took a backup of a built machine, dumped it out, parked it up here in this ZST file. And what all you had to do is bring that down to your PVE host. Where did I put it? VZ dump. There it is. And what do you have to do here? You got to be root, by the way. Do a QM restore. So I guess pull down file or files. SSH. QM restore. The name of the file. And an ID for the VM. I called it 101 again. Go over to your Proxmox. There is 101. Turn it on. Boom, you're done. So, what's the fast way? Download these files, copy them to your PVE host, SSH to it, run QM restore, bask in the glory of logging into Netware. Done. What's that? 4 steps? Should be quick enough. But I digress. Shut this down, kill it. That is it. I guess in the future, I'll probably do some more stuff with this, but in between these 3 or 4 videos I've done, you should be able to get a Netware 411 server and get a DOS client attached to it so you can manage it in a rudimentary sort of way and play around with basic network client server stuff. In the future, I'm definitely going to do a Windows machine, probably a Win95 machine, 98, one of those, maybe an NT box. I don't know. We'll see. And I am going to play with IP on Netware, which I have never done. I also have to rebuild my frame relay network for Initech for next year. And I'm going to rebuild that with a larger router with new ports. And I have to do IPX routing on it. So I will document, make videos on the routing side of this. And we can walk through and experiment with how to get traffic around a wide area network over frame relay. But that's about it for now. So enjoy, have fun. Guess that's it. Laters.